what's happening in your neck of the woods. I am your talk show host, Dr. Elenora Woods, and we have one of Chattanooga's, I would call it iconic civil rights leader here with me today. It is the Mr., the only one, the original, Mr. Johnny D. Holloway. Good afternoon, sir. Yes,
Thank you
yes,
very much for that
yes.
introduction. I'm gonna have to pay you something for that.
You have already paid your debt and you don't owe us anything. So, Mr. Holloway, how's it been going? What you been up to? Everybody
Well,
want to know what you been up to.
not much, but the main thing I've been up to is dealing with the museum and also with the trying to revive in this community the Push Excel program that we did back in the 70s, 80s. And those have been keeping me very busy.
Yes, I imagine.
And so I've been out trying to pass out information about Push Excel mostly and
Yes.
see if we can activate this community to believe in that once again and to excel and to achieve that with our young people.
Okay, now it's 2026. First of all, Happy New Year to all of our listening audience out there. And we wish for you the most prosperous, most God-filled New Year in 2026. We know a lot's going on, but guess what? God's people are victorious. We've already won the war. So we just wish for you all the greatest year you've ever had. Because we're going to do that. We're going to do that. And Mr. Holloway, why is it so important to you to I will call it, bring back the Push Excel program in 2026? Because it went out in the 80s, right? Or the 90s. And what was
the late 80s and early 90s when they went out here in city of Chattanooga. And well, last January, about this time last year,
yes,
we had the Martin Luther King birthday celebration activity. We're getting ready to go through that again.
Yes.
And so I went to a youth rally and to listen to a lot of college students, and they was talking about their majors and all the things they want to do. And then we had a lady named Edna Varner. She used to be a principal at Howard High School. Now
Dr. Varner, yes.
She now works for the foundations, and one of her jobs is to try to get Black people to go into education. Now, we need Black teachers and Black administrators and Black coaches and in education like we need air and water. And we need especially male Black teachers.
Absolutely.
More than anything else. And so they're not one of those students. There's about 60 or 70 of those students there. They're not one of those students even said they was interested in going into education.
Wow.
And then I at the end of the program, I asked the students how many have heard of Push Excel. And not a one of them raised their hand. But they was young people. And so then I turned to the audience, which was parents and older people, and everybody in that audience just about raised their hand. And I looked at that and said, now there's a gap between the students and the people in the audience who are parents like.
Yes.
I said, how can we bridge that gap? So I thought about trying to reactivate the Push Excel program, not like we did in the 80s and the 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s here in the city of Chattanooga, but some kind of way where we could get the Black community to start thinking about pushing for excellence again and getting the students involved, the parents involved, teachers involved, anybody who worked with young people involved.
Yes.
With sharing with young people the Push Excel idea.
Okay, so what is a typical program if you were involved with kids and you know, maybe it's a program that you have in the afternoon with the kids or at church? What does a typical program consist of? And then why should students, since they don't know about it, why should they be interested in getting in the program? And at what age group are you attracting to get into Push Excel?
Well, we like to start it. We like to start in the kindergarten and go through 12th grade.
Okay.
We would like to start there. But the ideal place to start is like the 6th grade and go back to the 1st grade. And from 6th grade and go to the 12th grade, you got 6 years there that you can
Right.
work with the older students.
Yes, yes.
And then you got the younger students from the 1st to the 12th grade, if you go through it that way.
Okay.
That's the way you do it. And you need to do it for a long period of time. We never have done it long enough because it takes funding and it takes a lot of energy, and raising that money every year is kind of difficult.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, it sounds like, with a program on this magnitude, it would take some type of funding. Now, in the past, who was your funder? And is there some national level that funding can be like grant funding for this program? Or who do you work with in the community that have access to funds that need to put this or incorporate this program into their organization?
Well, that's the old way we did it. That's when Jesse Jackson was in his youth and in his prime, and he was the motivator of the program across the nation. We had about 20 programs, Push Excel across the nation. The city of Chattanooga was the 3rd best program in the nation.
Wow. Okay.
And so Jesse Jackson was the motivating force, and we was the foot soldiers, we say. We did the groundwork for him to come in and do his thing.
Yes.
And so when he came in, he would always use something we call the push battle cry. And that's very important. The push battle cry was that they asked young people to reaffirm themselves, that I believe in myself. Don't nobody tell me that I'm smart.
Yes.
Don't nobody tell me that I'm good.
Was it some type of pledge?
It was what we call the push pledge.
Okay. And what's the push pledge?
The push pledge was a kind of a battle cry that, now those on the inside said it was a push battle cry, but for the public, we call it the push pledge.
Yes, I'm looking at it.
And it starts out that I am somebody, and you got to believe that. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be unskilled, but I am somebody. You must respect me. You must protect me, never neglect me, because I am somebody. Down with dope, up with hope. Down with dope, up with hope. And then it goes on. And then my mind is a pearl. I can learn anything in the world. Nobody will save us from us but us. And if my mind can conceive it and my heart believe it, I know I will achieve it. Excel, excel, excel. That's what we call a Bush paragraph. And depending on the makeup of the crowd is how you revise this.
Okay. This was written by Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Yes. And
okay.
So it depends on the makeup crowd. If we had a lot of young ladies, we said, I may be female, but I am somebody. And if we have a lot of young men, we may be saying, if I'm female, I am somebody. Then if you want to deal with the blackness of us, you say, my hair may be different, my skin may be different, but I am somebody. Then you can say, you revise a little bit and say red, yellow. If you want to deal with all races, red, yellow, black, or white. I'm precious in God's sight. And you can go on like that. And it's different ways you revise this Push Excel chant that we use to kind of get the students involved in it and believing in themselves. And you have to believe in yourself before you can do anything for yourself. And we don't believe in ourselves enough. That's why we're always looking for somebody else to help us out.
Yes. Oh, now we can talk about that. We can talk about that.
So that's where it says down here, nobody will save us from us but us.
Yes.
That's very important. You understand that. You have to believe that.
Yes.
You have to believe that.
And this day and time, with what's going on, especially with the young folk, I believe that the Push Excel can drive these kids and these young adults even into a more positive direction, because confidence is everything. Believing in yourself is everything. And I think the children, some kind of way, have lost the way because of the way society has shaped up to be right now. But we can reclaim that through Push Excel.
Well,
I love it.
I'm a product of believing what the system told me.
I
bought that story hook, line, and sinker
Uh-huh.
until I found out they was lying to me.
Okay.
And
Okay.
when I found out they was lying to me, I started reorientating my own self, re-educating myself. So I was always interested in history, so I became a real history buff, just Black history buff though,
Yeah.
not just history buff, but I was really interested. I'm still interested in the history of Black people, and I haven't learned enough about them to today.
And you know what? And I was talking to a friend earlier this morning about Black history. We, we now, we have to research for ourselves and learn our story for ourselves.
Yeah.
And we will discover that there are discrepancies and there are some historical things that have been pushed on us that's not true. And when we awaken ourselves, that's I love that word, are you woke? Because some of us are not woke because we weren't educated and we weren't supposed to be woke. But now, as God would have it, he would begin to reveal everything for us. And there's nothing wrong with being woke because you don't really know where you're going if you don't know where you've been.
That's right.
And you can't have the belief in yourself, like this pledge says. If you don't have the faith, you don't have the strength and the wisdom and the knowledge to believe that you are who you are. Somebody has to wake you up, push Excel, put it in you, and then from the kindergarten year all the way to 12th grade, instill this with truth.
Yeah. And
Yes.
and this program is for parents who have children who want to use this philosophy to teach their children to excel.
Yes.
I started it with my children. When I first heard about it, I said, I'm gonna try this out on my children.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I live. I live by believing in my family. So I started out with my children. My children ate it up. And then I said, well, and I go to church. I said, I like to carry things in my church. I said, well, maybe I ought to try this in my church. I talked to Reverend McDaniel. He said, I don't see anything wrong with it. Maybe it'll work. And next thing I know, I carried it to my church. And then I said, if it work in my church, it ought to work with the schools. And Jesse Jackson came down and well, I was already working with Jesse Jackson then, just through Operation Push. And he said, well, we're getting a pretty good vibe from Chattanooga. We ought to see what we can do. So he started sending his lieutenants in down here before he came for them to measure how well this program might work in Chattanooga. And they came back and said, that sounds like some fertile ground in Chattanooga. So Jesse Jackson started coming to Chattanooga. You know, people like Jesse Jackson don't like to come to a place and fail.
That's correct.
So they always send their lieutenants to go research it for them and see if it's
I
fertile
like that.
ground.
I like that. Yeah,
And
I
they
like
said-
that.
And they went back and told him, said, there's a fellow named John Holloway in Chattanooga that might be what you need. And so he came down and talked to the ministers and he told them, said, well, we was having a little problem with their language and there are problems in the community. And he said, well, if I come to city of Chattanooga, y'all gonna have to start a push chapter.
Okay.
And so
And that's how it began.
those how it began. That's the whole story.
I
right
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
there. But going back to Push Excel, every year when schools start, we should have a back to school program that kind of deal with what schools should do at the very beginning. And whereas we are approaching the beginning of another school year, that's the way it goes. And then it said, whereas there's nothing more important than our children, yet many of them are falling through the cracks in our education system. And then it says, whereas administrators may pay more attention, teach better, prepare students, work harder, show more respect, and earn higher marks when the parents know the principal and the teacher. And that's the basic principle right there to start with. The parents got to know the parent. The parents got to know the student, the teacher, and the principal. That's the first thing. So we have some little points that the parents must do.
This is some good stuff on here. I'm looking at this here.
It says it's the 5 points. It's take your child back to school on opening day. That's the first thing parents must do. Meet your teacher. Exchange telephone numbers with your principal and the teacher. Then it said, now this is a tough one. Cut off the TV off 3 hours every night instead of. I also say the cell phone.
You getting deep now. You talking about taking those computers and televisions and radio. Oh my God. Okay.
3 hours,
this is
3 hours a day.
This is a pledge. Oh my goodness.
Then it says, pick up your student's report card every 9 weeks. The parents must pick up the report card, not the students bring it to them. Parents must go to school and pick it up. And then have the parent or the minister to sign the card.
And you know what? That's important, because I'm gonna tell you all a little story. And my brother may be a little embarrassed, but I'm gonna share the story. You know how your report cards come home, your kids bring your report card. Then what if they've been goofing off all quarter and they got straight F's? They knew if they were gonna come home, they were gonna get the beat down. And they turned those F's to B's. Well, kids aren't really that smart, because parents can figure things out anyway. But he is so right. And my father was one of those type of fathers that you couldn't pull the wool over his head. So he went to the school and asked for the original report card.
Right.
But if you go get your children report card, then there is no tricking, and your kids will be more apt to behave, be more apt to do their homework, turn it in. If they know that their mother and father is going to checkmate their report cards by, like you said, picking them up. And that never happened again. But those are things that kids do to trick their parents when they know they're going to get the beat down. We just get beat down. I don't know if y'all know about that.
And then after
do
all those things, after go through the student pledge and all that, you still got to have a civic orientation, though. So we say that every student that graduates from high school should have voter registration and voter education card.
100%.
You should have voter registration in schools.
Y'all hear that? We coming for y'all.
Every student that turns 18 years old should be registered to vote.
18 by the time of the next election.
That's right.
You can register to vote. You can be 17.
That's the civic part, getting involved in your community. And and that's something I always had a voter registration card ever since I was 18 years old. I never missed a vote. I've been in the military. I always voted absentee when I was in the military. I never missed a year of voting since I've been living. Never have.
And we're gonna say, now, when is your birthday? Mr.
March
Holloway?
the 31st.
March the 31st. This amazing man to my left will be turning 90 years old. You all give him a round of applause. And he's still looking good and strong and still active in his community with civil rights and all those things that make a community great. He's right in the middle of it. And I'm always in awe when I look at him, and his kids are just amazing. They really take really good care of their dad. And that's another story and another show. But it's so important that children stay involved with their parents as they begin to turn into that, I call it, youthful ripe age.
Yeah.
So that they be on top of everything.
I got a story about that. I was talking to my wife one day, and I said, we in trouble. She said, what you mean we in trouble? I said, we got 4 boys. And boys on you to stay around to take care of the parents like girls do, and we don't have not one girl. She looked at me and said, and all she did kind of smile and said, we'll see.
So that's all right, because they got some amazing wives in their life, and the wives that they have are helping their husbands, and sometimes doing it as you think they're your daughters. And so
they are my daughters.
That's what I'm saying. Daughters. So you've raised some good young men, and they are very selective and have been very selective with who they brought home. to you. And they say if you raise your kids well, they'll grow up to bless you. And that's what has happened. You've raised those children well in the church, and your wife in the church, and they come back and now they bless you.
Well, there's another little philosophy where that comes through this Push Excel program that says there's some basic ways that you are successful. You got to first have a good family background. This is not always true, but basically this is true. Then you got to have something you believe in other than yourself. That's usually religion.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to believe in rocks, it's all right with me. Just believe in something other than yourself.
Yes.
That's very important. And then after that is a good education. You got to get a good education. I have to admit that Black people in America have been miseducated. I have to admit that. And we have taken a system that says that they were going to beat us down and make us less than and became better than.
Absolutely.
We was Muslims when we came over here. We were not Christians. We have adopted the Christian religion better than the people who call themselves Christians.
Truth speak.
That's what we have done with that.
Truth speak.
It was just something about the Bible when we read about Jesus that kind of said that looked like he's with us, you know.
And he is.
And so we kind of believed that, and we just adopted ourselves to this new religion and kind of practiced a little better than the people who had it before we did.
That's correct.
And that's a fact of life. And then after your religion, you got to do something for your community. If that's all you're gonna do, if you're just gonna have a good family and you believe in religion and you got a good education and you forget about your community, you have not fulfilled your obligations.
No.
And that's what Push Excel teaches. You got to fulfill your total obligations to life.
I love it.
That's what Push Excel does.
Well, I know that is there a handbook? This is my thing, because we have a pastor that leases from Alton Park Development Corporation here at the Civic Center. And we have a whole village of people right across the street. And if we want to start a Push Excel program, say tomorrow, is there a handbook that you have that you can give someone to start with the basic things they have to have? And I know you got all these things that we should be doing.
Yeah.
But the instructor, the person that's the head of the program, needs some type of book.
This is actually a book itself, a little book that we have called Push Excel.
Mm-hmm.
Push for Excellence. This is the book that we it's more than this that we have here.
Okay.
And I have a few of them at home that I can give to anybody who really want to see what the whole pamphlet, the Push Excel is about. But Push Excel comes down to 5 basic principles, and they simple principles. You got to get the student's attention.
Okay.
That's the first thing you got to do. Then you deal with the attendance. You got to get him to be present. That's his attendance.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to get the right atmosphere. That's all we talk about is setting the right atmosphere. And then after atmosphere, and all these start with A's, these are the 5 A's.
I see.
And then the attitude. And you put those 4 together, you wind up with achievement.
There it is.
That's the 5 basic principles of Operation Push. And I don't care how you cut it, how we say it, how we deliver it, it always come back to this. If you do those 5 basic principles, that's how you get achievement.
Wow, this is so detail oriented that if you follow this, you can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. It works. It's very simple and it works, but you got to do it constantly. Mm-hmm. You got to do it every day. And everywhere the kid go in the community, he should see this. He just can't get away from the Push Excel program. Everywhere you go, when they go to a barbershop, he should see it in the barbershop. When he go to his church, he should see it in his church. When he's at home, he should hear it at home. When he go to his school, he should hear it at school. I don't care where that kid go, he should know that he's in an atmosphere calling for you to excel and to excel on the push excel principles.
Well, I'm going to do a challenge for the superintendent of schools for Hamilton County.
Oh,
And the challenge is, here's the challenge. Here's the challenge. Here's the challenge. Hear me out. Because I know that they push back on programs coming into the school system in any kind of form or fashion that may not be quite what the policies and procedures are of the school. And they'll refer you to the principal of the school. They don't have to endorse this program, but we ask, and this is my challenge, that they will sit down and talk with you about this program and encourage the principals of the schools to allow this to come into their school system and at least give the information of where the Push Excel programs are. We're in the very early stage of bringing Push Excel programs back to Chattanooga, but now's the time to talk. The school board leaders, the representatives for each one of the districts, I know they want excellence out of all the students. I know they do. At least they say they do. That's why they ran for office. So we want to start at the top, in the middle, on the bottom, and in between every level with anybody that has anything to do with children or in contact with children in any capacity to at least hear you out on the Push Excel program, because I believe, like you do, that's missing now.
It's missing.
It's missing, and it's good for the parents because it gets the parents back involved with their children's education and creating a well-rounded human being, starting at home. Yeah. Starting at home. So this is a no-fail program. It's worked in the past, and it's going to work again. So I know we're going to be talking to a lot of folks, the pastors, the teachers, or the principals.
Well, let me tell you what my pastor's doing at this time.
Tell me what your pastor's doing.
He has committed to printing out this package I got right here for us to as many as I need. And all he simply said, you can call Second Baptist Church at 624-9097 and just say, I would like to have a package printed out for me, and I come by the church and pick it up, and they will print it out for you.
Wow. Now that's commitment. That's commitment. Because do you all see that? How big this package is?
And I have passed out, I guess I passed out almost 50 or 60 of these packages already.
It is, it's if you all have ever went to Kinko's or ever printed from your house and know how much ink costs if you print it from your house, you could do one of these packages and be out of ink. And be out of ink.
But he's committed to say, he said, I like the idea, and I think that we'll support you in your effort.
Wow. So if y'all need one of these packages, it is no excuse. You can go to Second Baptist Church where Pastor Dr. Reed is the senior pastor, or call them. What's the number again?
624-9097. 423 is the code to go.
423. And call them in advance. Don't just show up and bombard them. You need to make sure they have it ready for you. And they will print you your own personal package.
That's right.
Yes. So,
and this is quite a package.
Yeah, it's quite a package. And there are some sport associations also in our community that this will work for as well.
Yeah, and it works well with sports.
It works well with sports. So if you are a coach, whether it be at a school that you're coaching, or whether it be in the community, we have a lot of community and neighborhood sports programs. This is a program you need to have, that you need to incorporate in your program. And I know that we have some people working in government that their whole job title involves the youth. Ladarius, I know that he is working with the county with youth development and involvement. and the city. We have someone there at the city also that's working with children. We have just about in every department in the city government or the county government or the schools, they have programs for kids. So we know that these programs would benefit from Push Excel. It take the weight off of it. Somebody's already done it. Why would you need to reinvent anything if someone has already wrote it out, got it already printed up, got it already ready for you to pick up, just for you to follow and get excellent results? Excellent results.
Let me show you how we do it. Okay, I talked about the 5 basic A's principles of push.
Yes.
And you start with attendance. Then it tells, under attendance, it tells you what the parents supposed to do, what the students supposed to do, what the teacher's supposed to do, and what the community's supposed to do. And you can put that on your bulletin board. It's no question, it's just big enough to put on your bulletin board. And then you go down to attention and attendance and do the same thing. It tells you what the parents supposed to do, students, teacher, and community. That's the way it works out. It's I don't care how you cut it, we're saying the same thing different ways.
Yes.
But we're saying the same thing so many different ways you can't miss it.
This is a roadmap for success for kids, starting with kindergarten.
That's right.
I think I'm gonna give this package to my daughter who has my grandchildren. Hey, Ravina. Hello, Nairobi.
You're being a mama now.
Yeah. So, because they are 4 and 5 years old, they're at the right tender age.
They are at the age you need to get them.
Yeah. So I think after I leave the station today, I'm gonna take a ride. I want to see them anyway. This will give me a good excuse. I got y'all something that's gonna help y'all and gonna make y'all be some of the most successful kids in America. And Mama, here's the roadmap. So I'm telling you, I'm totally bought and sold. I've read the whole package, but I'm gonna read it even deeper and closer because I don't think when you gave me this package, did it have all this?
It had all of it in there.
It had this too?
Everything.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then it concentrates on those who impact kids, which is a parent, the teacher, and then the community centers. Every community center in this community should have this package. Anybody who works with kids should have this package. Anybody who have kids should have this package. And I've been very pleased with the reception I've gotten from the time that we have been trying to distribute this package. I had one lady say, I need a package. And I was out here one day. When we had Super Tea out here.
Yes.
And I was out here and I met the parents out here and I talked to them and they were basically grandparents. But some of them, the lady came and said, I looked at this and it looks good on the surface, but I got to look at it more deeper. But I tell you what I'm going to do. She works in the projects. Mm-hmm. She works in the project office. She said, I see all the kids. Wow. And she said, I said, well, you need a lot of them. She said, I don't need but one. She said, I can copy them in the office and give them to every one of the kids in the project. And now that's saying something.
That is saying something. That's commitment. Something. That's commitment.
And I said, man, that was worth my time being over here.
Yeah.
Late that night.
Right. Yeah. Super Tea and the Paul's Home neighborhood group have their reunion every year. And they had their Christmas gala here at the Civic Center, Chattanooga Civic Center in Mountainside. And I understand that it was a gala. They had a ball. I couldn't attend because the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, we had our fashionetta ball that same time. But I understand that they had a great time.
I had a great time too.
Yes.
I really enjoyed being with them.
Yes.
And I was just thrilled that how much I really had a real successful meeting just before they start partying.
Yeah, they partied. I was saying they partied real good, and they had a great time.
And I was able to communicate with them about the Push Excel program and got a lot of support.
Yes. And thank
at
you,
that
Super
time.
T,
And Super T,
for all of your support and for also talking up the Chattanooga Civic Center at Mountainside. You know, this is our center. And when I say our, I mean yours
yes,
and the audience, all the people out there that tune in to our radio station. This Civic Center belongs to the people, and everything about it says the people. And we want everyone to know that they have a part of this in any kind of way they want to support it, be involved. It may just be I'm going to rent out the space. It may be I just want to come through the African American Museum and see what it's all about. Which brings me to a project that our curator, who's also sitting to my left, well, this man is just awesome. I'm telling y'all, when you all know a person who has went through the civil rights movement and know all about it and was active in the civil rights movement and played a very important vital role in the civil, it is a honor. It is an honor to have that person. And I would say that he's probably the oldest living civil rights activist in the Chattanooga Hamilton County community because he's about to be 90 years old. Everybody else gone.
that's
They
right.
gone. They gone. In his age group, he's the oldest. And it always brings joy to my heart and sometimes tears to my eyes when I think about the goodness of God. And first of all, how he has allowed you to exist this long to come back around all the way another round full circle of life and give it back and remind us where we came from and what we need to be doing so that we don't slip and lose what you all fought for and the progress that we made to get us here. And y'all young folk, including myself, Mr. Holloway and those like him have given up, in some cases, their lives so that we could be where we are today, so that we can be on these jobs, go to these universities and become doctors and lawyers and engineers and teachers, administrators, managers, work besides white folk, go to hospitals with white folk, go to school with white folk, or whomever, because there was once a time where everything was separate. They said it was separate but equal, but it wasn't separate and equal.
That's another thing that I brought hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, see, he brought into that. It was separate, but it wasn't equal. Yeah. And so now, through all the fighting and all of the legislative laws that he helped to form and shape and create, one of them was when we sued the city of Chattanooga. Change the government.
Change the form of government.
Change the form of government.
But I have to say something about that. Every time I hear that,
tell me.
We took credit for it, but the fellow who really did that was Lorenzo Irvin.
Lorenzo Irvin, I know him. Amazing guy.
He did the research. He did the paperwork to change the form of government. All we did was he came to us and said, will you guys sign on this? Because there's no way in the world I can get the support out of the community to change the form of government. But he believed he can get 10 people. And so I was one of the 10. Tommy Brown was another one. Ralph McElrath was another one. And it goes on and on like that. But he did the paperwork. He did the research. He did all the work. We were just a front for him.
For all the folks that don't know, because we weren't alive or wasn't even interested in politics or too young to understand, because we're going to go there, because we're going to clear this up. It's going to be recorded because we are recording this show. We record every show. What was the problem? What was the change of government? Why did we have to change the government? What was going on? And what year or era of time was that? Well, you all got to get educated today.
Well, we had a city council form, city commission form of government, I think it was what they call it. And everybody was elected at large. So we couldn't elect anybody who looked like us to represent us because it was at large. And so we kept, and the unity group at the time, we had the unity group, we had a meeting with the unity group, and we sat down and said, what can we do? And so we started talking about changing form of government. Then Lorenzo Irvin came along with the plan and asked us, well, I think if we adopt this plan here, we can get it through. And he's just need some people to sign on it and be the people who gonna sue the city. What he call with credibility, I say that.
Okay.
With credibility. And I was one of the people that said I'd be glad to sign it.
It took the courage of people like you. Because some people scared of the government. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
They scared of the mayor. They scared of, this person and that. They scared of the president. But it's we the people that have the power. And somebody has to take a risk, even when in business, when you're going into business and you gambling on your money and you do some stuff like invest in stocks. Somebody got to have the courage, or somebody got to have I call it the know-how or the risk taking ability to say, I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to sign my name on this, because these are giants, right? Yeah. These are giants. Yeah. These are big guys. They do all kinds of stuff back then. They burned down your house and everything else, but you were not afraid. And you put your name on that line, because Black people couldn't get any representation because it was a election at large. It wasn't any districts.
No.
It was just one big election, and Black folks had no representation. And when they divided up in the districts, that's why it's really important for us to pay attention when they start redrawing lines.
That's right.
When they broke it out of the district, you have Black neighborhoods. I tell you what, Alton Park, where we are right now, nobody knew what the outcome was going to be to this precinct reported.
That's right.
No one knew. But they have redrawn this line, X'd it, crossed it, changed it. They've done a lot of that. And now's the time now to look at that again on the redistricting of our community, because now they can't get you this way, they'll get you that way.
Oh yeah.
So, but anyway, we got some things going on with the National Action Network. I've been on the phone with other folk across the state affiliated with NAN, and we're going to have a big conference meeting with our national president, Reverend Al Sharpton, about Chattanooga, Nashville, and Memphis with the distribution of funds. That's that economic part, right?
That's right.
Fairly throughout our community. And we've not been getting our fair share. Nobody has been fighting for our fair share. And therefore, we have been wrote out of, they say, the wheel.
That's very correct.
We've been wrote out of the wheel. But under, our knowledge and wisdom that we have with our people and our civil rights activists throughout the city, we're going to challenge that, because we need to make people accountable when they say they're going to represent you in your community. That's what they need to do. That's what they need to do. And that's not just saying, I'm going to go down there and change the street sign. That means, where's the beef? Where's the money for our community? And so we have not been getting our fair share, and we own to it, and we know about it.
We haven't been getting our fair share of the money. We haven't been getting our fair share of the jobs. In fact, we haven't been getting our fair share of anything.
Economics is where we are suffering as a people. So we shouldn't be confused about why we are so far behind and we can't get anywhere. They got houses now, $300,000 and $400,000, and it's some of the smallest houses that used to be $50,000 and $60,000, and it can't afford it. They're pricing us out of the housing market. Something has to be done, and it starts with economics.
Let me tell you what our problem really is.
What's the problem?
That we're looking from left to right, and your problem is up and down. We're not see, rich people are up here and the rest of us are down here, and we're looking at Democrats and Republicans. But the problem is up and down, from rich people to poor people. And until you start looking in the right direction, you're always going to be confused. We're looking in the wrong direction. We're looking at the people on the left and who's on the right. And you should be looking at who's at the top and who's on the bottom.
And that's where we're going with it. That meeting that I talked to you about briefly before we came on the air, it's going down. And be glad and be thankful that there are people in this city who understand what's going on and know how to challenge that really big. And we're not afraid. Because if we are afraid, we all lose. We all lose. Somebody has to stand up and say, hold on, wait a minute, and hit the gavel. And so that's why civil rights activism is very important throughout this country and actually throughout this world, so that things stay in balance. And if you don't challenge those who are empowered to do right and hold them accountable, things get out of balance and you start to suffer.
How do we skip over to economics from Push Excel? Tell me.
I don't know, because Push Excel, if you don't get your kids involved with Push Excel, you're going to be one of the ones we're going to be looking for to help. We got to get them ready.
Well, let me do this.
Finish talking about
Let me do this about Push Excel again. But in the Black community, the church is the institution that we have built.
Yes.
It's about the only institution we built, truly. And so we have a special affinity for the church in the Push Excel program.
Mm-hmm.
We look for the church to take that leadership as the community leader. We look for everybody to follow the church.
Yes.
And so we got a special program for the church from Push Excel. We tell you right quick, the one church, one school.
Mm-hmm.
That means we want that church to adopt a school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we want that church to buy you computers for the school. We want that church to encourage the students to participate in the Push Excel program. We want that church to do everything it does. The same thing it does with bringing religion to the children. We want to bring Excel to the children almost in the same vein.
Okay.
And so we have a special program. We have it right here all written out for the church to do. So we have one church, one school.
I got it right here.
That's right. One church, one school.
With Martin Luther King on the picture.
No, that's Jesse Jackson.
That's Jesse. Oh, okay. I can't see because it's too black.
Yeah, the print didn't come out too good for the picture.
Right here. Okay.
But that's what we're supposed to do. So we really push the church involvement. Outside, next to the school, come the church. The church is the next thing behind the school.
Mm-hmm.
That we really want the church to push the school.
All right, pastors, y'all hear that? Now this is your elder. I don't think nobody older than you out there. This is your elder talking to you,
got to be somebody
telling you what you need to do with these kids in this community, and your role as a pastor of your church. And you do what you want to do, but this is your elder talking. Your role is to get a school and adopt the Push Excel program, and he's got it all laid out. No work for you. It's already done. You have to come up and think of nothing. It's already been thought for you, and it helps save our kids in our school system today. Anything else you want to talk about Excel before we move on to our final thing that you're going to talk about?
One thing I like to say to you is we also have some little sayings, some push sayings at the very end of our program that we ask you to do it every week. We have some little push sayings we would like to get people involved in.
Okay.
And it says, push thoughts of the week. And it's a whole list of them. It's about 163 of them. And we ask you every week, you should practice one of these. You should practice with your children one of these sayings every week. And it's already there. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to put nothing up. And it just says, Excel thoughts of the week. For instance, it has children learn what they live. If children live with praise, they learn appreciation. And it goes on like that. And so we got 160 some of these sayings that we wish you to practice with your child every week. Just tell them that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
having to practice it and say it, repeat this,
and
because
repeat
they're just two sentences.
And in the churches, we asked them to put on that bulletin board, that church bulletin board.
Yes.
through the electronic bulletin boards. And so it's very simple. It's a propaganda. It's a propaganda effort, but propaganda works for you if it's positive. It's got to be positive. If propaganda works for you positive, it's a good thing. And I think Push Excel is a good thing.
Oh, I like this one.
What was that?
There is a need for politicians, but we need politicians who seek to be of service, not merely seek an office. Boy, that's a good. Got that in here. I like that.
Oh, we got it's 160 some of those things we asked you to. But that's the Excel thought of the week that we already have it there for you. You not think of us in it.
A whole 163 quotes that we need to live by, and I love that.
And I like to, before we go to our next topic, I'd just like to read this. It says, "The more you read, the more you know. The more you know, the smarter you grow. The smarter you grow, the stronger your voice. When speaking your mind or making your choice." Wow. And these are some of the things we put on bulletin boards for kids to kind of just absorb, because it's their form, and you put it there for them, and they just absorb it through osmosis.
Yes.
Just because it's there, you can't help it but absorb it because it's there.
I'm getting inspired myself, and I'm grown. You talking about the kids, kindergarten to the 12th grade. I think some of us adults can learn from this ourselves and better ourselves, especially under the.
But if you carry out the parent pledge, that's the same thing.
Right. This is awesome. I absolutely love it.
Parent pledge. We have parent pledges, what we're gonna do, and all that. But
it's
a good program. It's a good program.
It is an excellent program. Excellent program. You all out there listening, teachers that are out there, you get in contact with Mr. Holloway and Second Baptist Church. Call their office and get you your package and read it for yourself and see how you can apply Push Excel in your programs with your students. I started thinking about, now, what are some of the youth programs? We got Girl Scouts, we got Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
We have, like I said, all these athletic programs, all kinds of organizations that deal with children, that if they had a Push Excel program incorporated as a part of their organization, those kids would have better attitudes. They will have better outcomes with their workouts. Even when they lose a game, they'll have a better attitude, because Push is teaching them how to be positive and how, even in a bad situation, how to overcome that.
Oh, yes.
This is
what
awesome.
It's all about, is overcoming the odds.
This is awesome.
Overcoming the odds is what Push Excel is all about. And that's what we have faced all our lives.
Yes.
We have to be 3 times as good to get 1/2 as much. It's just that simple.
Well, this was a earful today. But we've got, before we close, you've got to tell them about the Black Statue of Liberty.
Well, the first Statue of Liberty that France sent to America was a black woman with a lantern in her hand raised up, in a left hand raised up, and they rejected that Statue of Liberty. America rejected that. Said this is not what we desire. So they sent it back to France, and then France sent them another statue of what you have in New York Harbor right now. The Statue of Liberty you see today. That's the second Statue of Liberty. That's not the first Statue of Liberty. The first Statue of Liberty is at Martin Island, off of down there, off somewhere around the Bahamas and all that, and those little islands down there called one of the islands. Yeah. All them islands and that one they called Martin. It's a French island.
Yes, if our engineer could put up the picture of the black, beautiful woman that was sent to America to represent Statue of Liberty, then the audience could see what we're talking about. So,
And so,
Michael, get Michael to pull that up so we can see this beautiful woman. So tell us a little history about
well,
that. What so they'll
so
understand
when
that.
they sent it back, it wound up in the Martins Island, and the way the Martin Islands got its name was Christopher Columbus, who's supposed to discover America, but I don't know how you discover America with people already here, but he did. That's what they say. He went by the islands, and he named the Martins Island in behalf of the King of Spain, the Queen of Spain. It's crazy. You pass by island, just name it, and just take possession of it because you pass by it. But that's the kind of things that they was doing at the time, and so they're island down around the Bahamas and all down in there, and so my children was down there and they saw it and they came back talking about it. And I said, well, I knew about it a long time ago. I just didn't say too much about it. And then we started talking about it. And then I said, well, we built a museum out there at the CDC, at the Alton Park Community Development Corporation. So I said, I just think it'd be a nice thing if we could have a replica of that statue made and have it put into the foyer of the CDC at Alton Park. And so we started talking to another fellow, Wiley Morton, and he said, well, that sounds like a good idea to me. And he called down in Atlanta and found some people who can sculpture it for us.
Yes.
And
life size one?
Life size.
Not a little bitty one?
No, life size.
Life size. Get
Gonna
Michael
be
to put this picture
about
up
8
here,
feet.
Robin. Get him to put that picture
About 8 feet tall, 8 or 9 feet tall, and that's what we're trying to do. And it's going to cost about $20,000 to pay for it. Now, what I got to find out is whether that $20,000 also include delivery to the site. That's what I got to find out. So I'm gonna find out what they actually cost to sculpture it and to deliver it to this site out here at the museum. The museum is something that I have been a part of ever since I started discovering myself again. I've been studying Black history a long time, and I always try to keep everything I studied as a statue now. And that lantern you see in her hand, that represents the Underground Railroad safe houses.
Yeah.
And you would have that lantern in the window, and people would know the slaves was running from slavery, trying to get to freedom. They could see that lantern in the window, and they know that's a safe house. And we call that the Underground Railroad.
Wow.
Now I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people duplicate what we have experienced. The Mexicans are doing the same thing. They have safe houses in Chattanooga.
Wow. I'm telling you, can't nobody do it like the originals. I'm telling you. And
you know, and we might not appreciate it because the way they do it, but the Mexicans are doing the same thing. But Trump has put a quietus on that. He's scared them to death.
But you know what? We survived. We are a race of people that have been through so many toils, trials, and tribulations, and have so much strength from everything that we went through that we've become the best at whatever they challenge us to do.
And we seem to rise too.
We rise.
But I would like to say this about the museum. The history, the museum is depicting that struggle that we have been through and where we are today. That's the history of this museum that we're trying to build out here now at the CDC, Alton Park CDC.
It's amazing. If you have not been to the museum, you need to call us. We do have a person that's here on duty. You can call us here. You can go to our website. Mr. Holloway is our curator and the person that sets up the tours because he's the one that structured the museum and knows the most about it and everything about it. And he's an amazing tour guide. But I understand he's going to train a couple of people
I'm trying. I'm
to
thinking
help
about it.
him with these tours. You have to come to the finest, I call it the finest, African American museum at the Chattanooga uh, Education and Heritage Museum here in the Chattanooga Civic Center at Mountainside. If you really want to understand true African history in its raw form. And we also have Mr. John Edwards with the Chattanooga News Chronicle, who's been titled as the go-to person for Black history, who's also a part of what we've got out here on display. When you come in, there'll be something different. But there are some things you just have to keep up because it's so important that our kids and also our adults understand the true history of African Americans. And you've done a fantastic job.
The difference of this museum from other museums you've been through, most museums deal with the most successful people.
Yes.
From the top down.
Yes.
This museum is built from the bottom up. Those who have the least, that have struggled the most to improve ourselves.
Yes.
This is what this museum is all about. Now, we have a lot of people who have contributed to our effort that's from the upper class. And we welcome that support.
Yes.
But this is really a story of people, poor people helping poor people to move up. And that's what this museum depicts from the very inception of ourselves.
I'm not going to give it away, but if you haven't been here, shame, 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 because this is where it is right here in this African American Museum. And I thought about when the Howard class, was it 1957? Was that the first class? 55, the first class of Howard. And you all know about the Howard, the Hustling Tigers. We got pictures. They were just so, oh my God, they were so amazed because we have a whole wall. We call it the Howard Wall of Fame in the museum. It's dedicated to Howard. And the excitement of your classmates that came through was just awesome. I enjoyed every moment of that.
We have another group coming through. Our family have chapters all over the nation.
Yes.
The family that it's called the Vine Young's family. That's from my mother's side.
Okay.
She was a Vine. And so we had a meeting. We have a annual meeting every year, annual dinner. I think it's last Sunday of each month, each year in December. And they said, well, when we gonna come out and see the museum?
Right.
Talking about my family. So I'm gonna set something up somewhere in January, the end of January, somewhere in February, somewhere in there, and we're gonna invite my family out in this very large family. We got a very large family. And so they're gonna come out and see it, and we'll set up a little lunch for them and everything, and they enjoy it. And we'll play videos for them after they get through touring the museum, and we sit around and critique what they saw and what they feel about it, and how they can tell us what they think we ought to do and how they critique it. And so
it will make you cry. Some parts of the museum will make you cry because it'll make you go back.
Well,
and for some that did not or was not a part of that struggle, it'll give you chills because some people don't know what has actually happened in their own.
You know, you talked about the Howard Wall, but we also have a Ku Klux Klan wall.
Yeah, we got a Ku Klux Klan wall too, y'all. We got hung on trees and all that. So don't expect everything to be pretty. But I will say this. Mr. Holloway insisted that we not take a penny from children because he wanted children to get the experience of learning their history. We do take donations though.
Oh, yes.
But no child will have to ever pay to come through this museum.
Let me tell you what we're trying to do also. Now, Mr. Bryson, you know, he has a history class here.
January the 15th. So you haven't signed up. Each class is $20. And I think he has
And
11.
and I have been through his class, and one thing he taught me real quick is the Bible is also a history book. It's not only a religious book, but it has a history book, and it's a history of people of color.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, we had a group of students to come through here, and we took them down the wall that had all of the kings and queens.
Oh, yeah, we got a
And the names of these kings and queens are the exact names that's in the Bible. They thought all those folks were white and they were black. And I got to admit, I thought Queen Sheba, Cleopatra, and all these great kings were white women because they depicted on TV as being European white women, and they're black. Moses, all these folks.
Let me tell you something.
Man, that
Jesus was an exile. Jesus, Mary and Joseph and Jesus was exiled to Egypt. You hear me? They was exiled to Egypt because when King Herod heard of the king being born baby, he was going to have all the babies over 2 years old killed. So Mary and Joseph went to Egypt, hide. You can't hide a blue-eyed,
white blonde-headed baby. All them black folk. You can't.
You can't hide
it. Would have been like a neon light. You already know. So some things is common sense, but nobody wants to use common sense. But no, you can't hide a white baby
in Egypt.
You cannot do that. So it's those kinds of things you'll learn, not only through the museum, but our educational component. You all need to take the class. Black, white folks, y'all need to take the class, because white folks and other races and nationalities, they don't know Black history either.
No.
They don't know it. So
know Black history.
You need to take Black history. I promise you it's rewarding, and it will change the way you think about
But what I want to say to young people, we are developing at this museum in Harold Bryson's Black history class a history of the civil rights movement in the city of Chattanooga and the nation. All the books that I have had, that I have saved over the years, will be placed in that classroom for you to come in and do your research of the civil rights movement in the city of Chattanooga and the nation. All my books will be there, and I'm taking just about all my books.
Y'all heard
being
that?
Contributed to this museum, and I got a lot of books.
Y'all heard that? We are super excited. When God blessed Alton Park Development Corporation with this building, I came inside of it. I'm not gonna be long with it. I said, "Now, Lord, now what? We don't have no heat. We don't have no air. We don't have no lights. We don't have no what? What?" He said, "Just stand. I just need you to stand." He said, "I don't want you to recruit nobody." He said, "I'm gonna do the recruiting. I don't need you to beg nobody. I'm going to bring the resources to you. I'm going to bring you the resources. I'm going to bring you the people. All I need you to do is just stand. Be that individual that's there. Because somebody have to stand.
Somebody got to stand.
Somebody got to stand.
Stand in the gap.
Stand in the gap. And everything that's happened here is divine. Everything, I'm telling you, I have not made any wheels roll, but I have stood just what he told me to do. And watch God do his thing.
You're talking about divine intervention.
Divine intervention.
And
it is.
My life experience tells me there is such thing as divine intervention.
It is. And so for all of you all that believe in divine intervention and you believe in the work of God and it happening right here, we want you all to make a contribution, no matter if it's big or small. We want you all to make a contribution because our ministry, this is a ministry, our ministry can go forward and can do even more with your support. So if you want to support Alton Park Development Corporation, which all these other things fall under the umbrella, and we are 501c3 nonprofit, you can go to our website at apdc98.org and make your contribution. It's categorized, so you could earmark where you want your money to go. If you wanted to go to the museum, if you wanted to go to the Black history class, if you wanted to go to the event hall, if you wanted to go to our farm, we have a farm. They were on the show with us last week. You can put your money wherever you want it to go. and it will separate it out and go straight to the bank account. So we are very proud of being able to support every element of On Part Development Corporation through our website and through our, I say they're just brilliant people that's working on our staff and our accountant that keeps up with all this stuff. So we want you all to give back, support it, so that when me and Mr. Holloway is no longer here, you will hear our voice and you will have something in this community that you could continue to learn from and continue to do and continue to bless other people long after we're gone through this center right here. That's what I believe God blessed us with this building for, so that we'll have an institution to continue to bless people. Well, that's all we have for today. Y'all know it's Saturday and tomorrow is Sunday. And we want all of you to go out and go to some church somewhere, although we're supposed to be in church every day, 24/7, and let the Lord know how blessed and how thankful you are to be blessed for all the things he's done for you, all the blessings he's bestowed upon you that we didn't deserve, but he gave it to us anyway. God loves to hear from us, and just give him praise and thanks. Even if you can't make it to church, sometimes I can't make it to church. You know, church, first of all, is in your heart. You are the church. But you can turn on the TV now. You can go on the internet and go virtual and watch church. Sometimes you can watch your own church right from your bedroom, in the kitchen, the living room, and praise the Lord. I was praising the Lord on a prayer line Friday for 2 hours, just letting God know how good he has been to me and my family. I want to thank everybody that's prayed for my daughter, Megan, who's been struggling with health issues, because I can tell you, I can see the miracle of God working through her. She is up and out right now with her brother. And it's just wonderful to see her with that energy back in her. She struggled with a lot with diabetes, kidney issues, kidney disease, and all other kinds of issues that God has seen her through with the doctors and specialists that's been on her over the past year. I think they've got it figured out. And she's doing so much better. And I know it's from the prayers of the prayer warriors out there, my church family, my friends, and my other family members. I thank you all for praying for Megan. Because of those prayers and the goodness of God, she's gonna be all right. I just want to put that out there. So until next week, and we will be back. I hope you all have a blessed year, a blessed week this week. And remember, we're not entertaining negativity, but we're gonna address it if it come our way. But we're not gonna entertain it. We're gonna address it. Okay? Look the difference up. I love y'all, and to God be the glory. See you next week.